students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mbide, and in today's session, we're going to learn about writing an apology letter. We're going to define what a letter of apology is. We are also going to see what does it contain, the features, what should you write in the body of an apology letter, and we're also going to have a look at a sample of an apology letter. We already learned how to write invitation letters, how to write business letters, so you already have an idea of how the structure of a letter looks like, whether it is a formal letter or an informal letter. So before we continue, it is important to know what a letter is. And a letter is basically a form of communication between individuals, between institutions, between an individual and an institution. And there are two types of letters. There's the formal letters and informal letters. So an apology letter is written when one person offends another person, but it can also be written on behalf of someone. For example, if your school is hosting a games tournament and then another school comes and the students from this other school misbehave, the game's HOD can write an apology letter to your game's HOD apologizing for the misconduct of their students. So what are some of the features of an apology letter? What should we look out for when we are writing an apology letter? What must be there when we are writing an apology letter? The first thing is the address of the writer. Whoever is writing this letter, your address is the first thing, and most of the time it's on the top right. Immediately after the writer's address, just below it is the date of when this letter is being written. Please note that the date is not part of the address. So as you're writing, when you're done with the address, you skip a line and then you write the date to show that it is not part of your address. So the next thing is the recipient's address. So you have written your address, you have written the date. On the left side now comes the address of whoever you're writing this letter to, that is the recipient. And just below the recipient's address, we have the salutation. If it is someone that you know, you write their name, dear Alice, dear whoever. If you don't know them, you write dear sir or dear madam. And then below the salutation, we have the subject. That subject should already tell us that this is a letter of apology. It can spell out the offense committed. So for example, apology for my students' misconduct, apology for my indiscipline, something like that. And it must be underlined. So after all addresses have been written, the name has been written, the salutation and the subject, we now go to the body. Why are you writing this letter? What are you apologizing for? That is the body. An apology letter should be short and straight to the point. Don't dilly-dally, just explain yourself and clearly apologize so that it is not too long and too crowded. Just be precise to the point. And then after that, you sign off, yours faithfully or yours sincerely, and then you put a comma, and then below it your signature and then your name. So yours sincerely, comma, below it signature, below signature your name. So we are going to have a look at a sample of an apology letter, and as we read through, we are also going to see if it contains all the features that we have just discussed. So you can see at the top right, the address of the writer, BD School. So whoever is writing is from BD School, PO Box 123, Milimani. That is the address, and below that address we have the date, 12th May 2005. And then on the left side we have the recipient's address, who is being addressed, who is this letter written to: the debate club patron, Baraza Secondary, PO Box 321, Milimani. Dear Miss Wema, that is the salutation. So this letter is being written to Miss Wema, who is the debate club patron at Baraza Secondary. And then we have the subject, apology for my students' indiscipline. And then we have the body of the letter. I would like to apologize for my students' conduct during the last debate club meeting. It was disheartening to hear them shout at your students and throw pieces of paper in the entire dining hall. My principal has taken over the matter and is sending someone to assess the damage. I am very sorry about this, and I promise to ensure that it does not happen again. Yours sincerely, Miss Diana Mary, Debate Club patron. So this is an example of a letter that has been written on behalf of the students. So it's not the students that have written this letter, it is their patron, Debate Club patron, that has written to the debate club patron of the other school on behalf of her students. When you look at the body of this letter, it is very short, it is very precise. It states what happened, where it happened, and when it happened, and it also states a resolve. So it happened at the dining hall during the debate club meeting. And what happened? Her students were throwing pieces of paper at the other students and also shouting at them. And what is the resolve? The principal has taken over the matter and is also sending someone to assess the damage. And ends up by apologizing. I am very sorry about this, and I promise to ensure that it does not happen again. So this letter is very short, but also very precise. When you read it, you can clearly see why it has even been written is to apologize. There are not many stories. It is just straight to the point. The addresses are very well written. The salutation is there, the subject is there, and it is also underlined. And she has also signed off well with yours sincerely and then her signature. For some people, they prefer to use the initials of their name as their signature, and then her name and her title or designation. She's the debate club patron. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to write an apology letter, remember to follow these steps to ensure that both addresses are there, that the subject is underlined, that this salutation is there, but most importantly, make sure that your letter is not too long, too many stories. Just go straight to the point. So that's it for this session. I hope you have understood and you're now able to clearly write an apology letter. For further practice, you can have a look at the quiz and attempt to do it. Imagine that you have just reported back to school after the April holidays. You are not allowed to have mobile phones in your school. At the gate, the teacher on duty discovers that you have a mobile phone in your bag and demands an explanation. Write an apology letter addressed to the teacher over the incident. So remember to have all the features, the addresses, the salutation, the subject, as you attempt to write this letter. Thank you for tuning in and see you in the next session.